Welcome to Elderly Wisdom Mind, a space where we share stories, reflections, and gentle truths about growing older with grace and purpose. I'm Mary, and I'm so glad you're here.
And I'm John. Each week we talk about the real moments of life after 60, the laughter, the loss, the wisdom, and the quiet joys that often go unnoticed.
Today, we're opening our hearts to a topic that touches almost everyone at some point, the loneliness no one talks about after 60.
It's not always easy to face, but together we'll explore it with honesty, kindness, and hope.
No one really warns you about the silence that comes after 60. It's not the kind of silence you hear. It's the kind that lives in your house, in your mornings, in the empty chair across the table. Sometimes it's peaceful, but sometimes it feels like time itself has slowed down just to remind you that you're alone.
You wake up, make 2 cups of coffee, out of habit, and then realize you only need 1. It's not that something terrible happened, it's just that life became quieter, little by little, until one day you noticed. The house that once echoed with voices now whispers back at you.
And that quiet can be beautiful, but sometimes it feels like it's swallowing you whole. It's a strange mix, comfort and ache, living side by side.
Loneliness after 60 doesn't always mean you're alone. You can be surrounded by people, children, neighbors, even friends, and still feel that strange emptiness inside. It's that invisible kind of loneliness, the one no one sees, but you carry in your chest.
It's when conversations feel shorter, when you sense that people are rushing to be somewhere else, or when your phone lights up and it's just another notification, not a real voice. You scroll through photos, read the same messages again, hoping to feel close to someone for a moment.
For some, it started after retirement, when the rhythm of life slowed, and suddenly there was no schedule, no coworkers, no one waiting. For others, it began when their partner passed, and silence became the loudest sound in the room. And for many, it's just the slow drift of years, the way people move away, change, or fade from daily life.
I remember after my husband died, I'd keep the TV on all day, not to watch it, but just to hear something. Noise became a substitute for connection. It filled the space, but not the heart.
Yeah, I did the same after I lost my brother. We used to talk every Sunday morning. I still catch myself reaching for the phone sometimes, like he's still there. Grief has a way of tricking you, making you believe that maybe, just maybe, you'll hear that voice again.
What makes loneliness at this age so hard is that no one really talks about it. You don't want to sound needy. You don't want to burden anyone. So you smile, you say, "I'm fine," and you carry it quietly.
Exactly. You smile at the kids, tell them, "I'm fine, honey, don't worry about me." But deep down, you just wish someone would sit with you. Not to fix it, just to be there. Just to have another heartbeat in the room.
And sometimes we forget that we can reach out first. We wait for the phone to ring when maybe it's our turn to call. We wait for invitations when maybe we could invite someone for tea, even if it feels awkward at first.
You're right. The truth is, loneliness doesn't mean you're broken. It just means that your heart still needs connection. It means you're still human.
You know, John, I once met a woman at a community center, 72, living alone. She told me she'd been lonely for years, but then she started painting again, something she hadn't done since her 20s. She said, "The brush became my friend. Every morning she'd sit by her window, the light coming in, and she'd paint what she saw. The tree outside, her cup of tea, the sky."
That's beautiful. I think that's what healing looks like when we stop fighting the quiet and start living in it. We stop treating loneliness like an enemy and start seeing it as a companion that just needs gentle understanding.
Yes, The quiet doesn't have to be empty. It can be a space for gratitude, for remembering the good things without drowning in them, a space for prayer, reflection, or even rediscovery of hobbies, of dreams, of parts of yourself you forgot.
I started journaling, just a few lines every night. Sometimes it's about my day, sometimes it's a memory. And you know what? The page listens better than most people. It's patient. It doesn't interrupt. And when I read it back weeks later, I see growth where I didn't before.
That's true. I started walking in the mornings, just me, the birds, and the sunrise. At first it felt lonely. Now it feels sacred. There's something about watching the light return every day. It reminds you that life keeps beginning again, no matter how quiet it gets.
Maybe loneliness isn't an enemy. Maybe it's a teacher, reminding us of all the love we've had and the love we're still capable of giving. It pushes us to reach deeper, to understand ourselves, to find peace within our own company.
And maybe at this stage of life, it's about learning to be your own companion. Not because you have no one else, but because you finally learned to enjoy your own presence. That's a kind of wisdom only time can teach.
Yes. Being alone doesn't have to mean being lonely. There's a difference between isolation and peace. Peace is chosen. It's gentle. It's full of small joys.
And sometimes peace is simply making yourself a cup of tea, sitting by the window, and realizing you made it through so much, and you're still here. That's not loneliness. That's strength in quiet form.
So if you're listening right now and you've been feeling that quiet ache, please know you're not forgotten. You're not invisible. You are part of this world's heartbeat, even when it feels like no one hears it.
The world still needs your stories, your laughter, your wisdom, and someone out there, maybe a neighbor, maybe an old friend, would be so happy to hear from you again. Don't underestimate the light you carry. It might be exactly what someone else needs today.
So, don't wait for the call. Be the one who calls. Don't wait for someone to knock. Be the one who reaches out first. Even a small act, a letter, a smile, a wave, can bridge a lifetime of distance.
Because connection doesn't end with age. It just changes its shape. Softer, slower, but just as real. And when you choose to connect, you remind yourself that your heart still knows how to love.
Thank you for spending this time with us here on Elderly Wisdom Mind.
If this episode touched your heart, share it with someone who might be feeling that same silence. Sometimes a small gesture, a call, a message, a shared podcast can remind someone they're not alone.
We'll see you next time with more reflections, stories, and gentle wisdom from the heart.
Until then, be kind to yourself. And remember, the quiet inside you can be a friend.